this country has suffered since independence because of conflict of interest. But I strongly believe that this bill is before this House today just to make the donors and the IMF happy, Madam Speaker. It's not about addressing the real issues that this country is going through. That is my view, and that's what I think is driving this agenda, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the issue, so long as civil servants, state officers are doing businesses, Madam Speaker, conflict of interest will never end in this country, Madam Speaker. And people will use all kinds of excuses and manners to hide themselves so that they are not found guilty of the same statute that we are going to pass here, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, if we are passing this bill just for the sake of it, as I have said, to make the donors happy, then let us be told that this is for that purpose. But if we seriously want to address the issues the mover has raised, Madam Speaker, then when we pass this bill, we must see action that follows after this bill has been passed, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I wanted the majority to listen to me that, you know, we cannot have a regime in this country that is governing through lamentations and excuses, Madam Speaker. The previous people have done this, the previous people have done that. If they have done so much wrong, reverse it and take action where necessary, Madam Speaker, within the law. Madam Speaker, this is 1.5 years now of this regime, and we normally have elections so that better people can come to power so that they can address the issues that have been done wrongly by the previous regime, Madam Speaker. But we are stuck somewhere, just looking at the side mirror, and you know in a car, the front mirror is bigger than the side mirror, Madam Speaker. You keep on telling us, reminding us, oh, it is the previous regime, oh, it is the previous group that did this. Why can't you reverse it? Why can't you address it? And why can't you use the law to address those matters, Madam Speaker? Madam Speaker, conflict of interest is the one thing that has killed this country. But don't just point fingers on other people. See the log also in your eye. There is a lot of conflict of interest that's happening as of now. We know that, Madam Speaker. You know, what is this thing called? Edible oil was imported. Sugar is being imported. A lot of things are being imported. Kenyans don't know who's doing it. Kenyans need to be told in the spirit of transparency. Who are these people who are doing those businesses even now, Madam Speaker? They're not being brought by foreigners or by people who are not known, Madam Speaker. So we must make sure that we call a spade, and if the bill is good for everyone, then let us pass it so that this country can be saved once and for all, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the majority leader has said that he became an old man when President Kibaki was in power. Before that, he was walking around with pants in Kikuyu constituency and Kikuyu streets, which I agree with him. I was also the same. But Madam Speaker, in Migori, Madam Speaker, I want to urge the House that if we pass, we have the implementation committee in this House, Madam Speaker, that is supposed to follow up all the bills and all the statutes that have been passed in this House, Madam Speaker. There are many statutes that we have passed that are of good, but they are just eating dust in shelves somewhere, Madam Speaker. And you know, in the end of the year, we say, next year, when we come after the leave session, or last session, we passed 150 bills as a House. How many are functioning? How many are implemented? How many have not been implemented, Madam Speaker? So, Madam Speaker, the issue of conflict of interest, I've said, and I've repeated, I want to repeat again, that so long as civil servants, state officers are doing businesses, the conflict of interest will always be there, Madam Speaker. But if we want to address that thing genuinely, when issues of butchery and meat is being discussed, the majority leader must declare his interest and say, I'm a butcher man, I run butcheries in Kikuyu, and this matter I cannot involve myself. We know he's running butcheries. So that is the way it is. He cannot supply meat to Parliament, Madam Speaker, for example. He cannot supply meat to Parliament, for example, the majority leader, because we know he's running butcheries, Madam Speaker. So that is the right way to do it, Madam Speaker. And I'm using him as an example. Madam Speaker, with those few remarks, I support the bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Junet. Next chance will go to the member for Bomet, Honorable Lynette Chepkorir, a.k.a. Toto. Okay, not on this. The next chance will go to the member for Tinderet, Honorable Julius Meli.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to support this bill.